Shalom. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Akakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to all the brothers and a few sisters seeking and pushing Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai in truth and sincerity. The title of this lesson is called The Mighty Spirit of King David. You know, because I was just kind of meditating on, last night, meditating on how mighty, how mighty the works of some of these men are in the scriptures, man. How mighty they are, because ultimately they were in this flesh. Ultimately they had the heritage, but ultimately they were still in this flesh, man. And the works and a great faith and a great trust that they had in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, because that He is our strength. So faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is power. Faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is strength. It is wisdom. It is life, etc., 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 man. All of the most valiant traits, all right, they all come from the heavens, from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, specifically, only Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, And so, Lord willing, the lesson may be edifying, correct, and direct. I may be able to, convey my point. This is 1 Samuel chapter 17 and verse 4. It says, "And there went out a champion out of the camp of the Philistines, named Goliath of Gath, whose height was 6 cubits and a span." It says, I'm going to just jump down. I'm going to be kind of, for the sake of, just to stay on point. This verse 8 says, "And he stood and cried unto the armies of Israel and said unto them," says, "Why are ye come out to set your battle in array? Am not I a Philistine, and ye servants to Saul? It say, choose ye a man for you, and let him come down to me. It says, if he be able to fight with me and to kill me, then we will be your servants. But if I prevail against him and kill him, then shall ye be our servants and serve us." Yeah, so Israel was at war with the Philistines, man. And they had this big, great champion named Goliath, man. A mighty man of war of the Philistines, Verse 10 says, I'm going to go to verse 11. It says, "And Saul and all Israel heard those words of the Philistine. They were dismayed and greatly afraid." Yep, so I'm going to jump down to verse 45. It says, "Then said David to the Philistine." So, Goliath pretty much scared all of Israel, man. Except for the mighty man King David, because ultimately they were looking from a carnal eye. What did the scripture say, that there's more of us than there are of them? He had to open the eyes of that man, and he saw all the thousands of heaven. To be carnally minded, but in the spirit, through Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, all right, we got the victory. What it say? I'm roughly paraphrasing, but the result of the battle is in the hand of the Lord. All right, the Lord can make a little baby, a little baby child, man, and kill the grownest, greatest man, man. The Lord can do all things, and He's our power. He's Israel's power, and this spirit and this faith of King David, man, is gonna convey that, because the rest of Israel was scared. They knew that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua was, but ultimately, King David, the man after the Most High's heart, so many mighty works, man. So many mighty works, and it's charging and it's comforting, and it's a great faith booster, man. All right, verse 45 says, "Then said David to the Philistine, Thou comest to me with a sword and with a spear and with a shield, but I come to thee in the name of Yahweh of hosts, the power of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied. It says, This day will Yahweh deliver thee into mine hand, and I will smite thee, and take thy head from thee, and I will give the carcasses of the host of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air, and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a power in Israel." It says, "And all this assembly shall know that Yahweh saveth not with sword and spear, for the battle is Yahweh's, and He will give you into our hand." Yup, so, the rest of Israel was scared, man. if you was a carnal man, if you was a carnal man just looking at the flesh, man, you would have been terrified of Goliath, man. But King David, through faith, you know, he and that mighty faith, man, that mighty strength and that mighty power that David had, man. He already knew that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua was about to work a great and mighty work within him, man, for Israel, for Yahweh Hashem Yahushua's namesake. And we coming in the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So we going to be defended just like King David was defended, man, as long as we have that faith like King David, man. You know, this Psalms chapter 3, it says, I'm going to start at verse 6. It says, I will not be afraid of 10,000s of people that have set themselves against me round about. Yes, because we navigating this world, man. The entire earth is against us, man. Our own people are against us, man. But we don't care, man. We're not afraid of Esau, Edom. Okay, we're not afraid of the wicked of Israel, man. All right, the scriptures say, if Yahweh be for you, then who can be against you, man? You know, it's verse 7 says, arise, O Yahweh, save me, O my power, for thou hast smitten all my enemies upon the cheekbone. Thou hast broken the teeth of the ungodly. It says, salvation belongeth unto Yahweh. Thy blessings is upon thy people. Salah. Yeah. So, you know, we're not afraid of you know, of the carnal. We walk by faith. All right, we walk by faith, not by sight. You know, that's real, man. We see past the flesh, man. We see past this world. We know Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is in control, man. We know Yahweh Hashem Yahushua said he was gonna get the meek to confound the wise, the weak to confound the mighty, man. And we have the ultimate creator, the ultimate power, the creator of heaven and earth on our side, man. So it's nothing that these people can do. You know, this 2 Samuel chapter 16 verse 7, and I pretty much you know, I put this in there just to, you know, King David's humility, man. His humbleness, his humility. You know, man, you know, because, hey, he was the king. He was the king, and just see what he does, man. See when one of his people, you know, one of his subjects, somebody who's subject unto King David, man. You know, watch what he does. This 2 Samuel chapter 16 and verse 5 says that when King David came to Bahurim, behold, thence came out a man of the family of the house of Saul, who was the previous king, who the kingdom was translated from Saul to King David. You know, it says of the house of Saul, whose name was Shimei, the son of Gerah. He came forth and cursed still as he came. It says, and he cast stones at David and at all the servants of King David, and all the people and all the mighty men were on his right hand and on his left. All right, King David was a man of war, man. They say King David slayed tens of thousands. King David bent iron with his bare hands, you know, and he had all his mighty men with him, you know. Verse 7 it says, and thus said Shimei when he came out, when he cursed, come out, thou bloody man, and thou man of Belial. It says, Yahweh have returned upon thee all the blood of the house of Saul, in whose stead thou hast reigned. It says, and Yahweh hath delivered the kingdom into the hand of Absalom thy son. And behold, thou art taken in thy mischief, because thou art a bloody man. All right, so one of King David's subjects came and cursed him, man. You know, verse 9 says, then said Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, unto the king, why should this dead dog curse my lord the king? All right, the Lord's anointed, man. The Lord's, man, King David was a man after the Most High's own heart. King David, so many different miracles and different situations that King David knew that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua was on his side, and King David knew that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, and he was righteous in the sight of the Lord, man. So Yahweh Hashem Yahushua was going to defend King David always, man. You know, you don't buck up against the Lord's anointed, man. You know, but hey, this man did. So one of King David's mighty men said, why should this dead dog curse my lord the king? Let me go over, I pray thee, and take off his head, which would have been a little thing for him to do, man, if King David would have just given him to go. Verse 10, and the king said, what have I to do with you, ye sons of Zeruiah? So let him curse, because Yahweh have said unto him, curse David, Who shall then say, wherefore hast thou done so? It says, and David said to Abishai and to all his servants, behold, my son which came forth of my bowels seeketh my life. How much more now may this Benjamite do it? Let him alone and let him curse, for Yahweh hath bidden him. It may be that Yahweh will look on mine affliction, and that Yahweh will requite me good for his cursing this day. Man, so through the spirit, man, King David, man, that's just so mighty to me. Because it would have been such a little thing for him to, man, who the fuck is you, woo, woo, take off his head, you know? But nah, man, that's so mighty, man. You know, the ability that he could have, but he restrained himself, you know, because King David was spiritually minded, man. King David was so wise and so spiritually minded, man, you know? And this is just the spirit that we got to be in, man. You know, someone that, you know, the spirit of Yahweh Shai, the spirit of King David, man. You know, these mighty men. You know, these mighty but humble men. Like the Lord. The Lord could have called down an infinite amount of angels to come and save him from being crucified. But it's Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai's will at the end of the day. It's the Most High's will at the end of the day. And King David, Yahweh Shai, they all knew that, man. So they took the low. They took the low, even though they were the mightiest, and they are the kings, man. They are the head. Yahweh Shai is the head of Israel, and King David is the head of the church, man. All right, it's nobody above them. Nobody more mighty. Nobody, you know, that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is not going to put anybody else above them, man. But they took the low road. Yahweh Shai took the low road under the heathen. Yeah, King David took the low road under the Benjamite, man. And, you know, because ultimately they know that it's the Lord's will. And they know that they are subject unto Yahweh, you know. So ultimately, you know, it's just, you know, they just took that humility, all right, that faith, that humility. All right, those are traits that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai loves, man. You know, because, man, and that's just so, you know, it's just so mighty. You know, that's a mighty spirit to be in, man. You know, because, you know, we're not carnal, man. We're not carnal. The scriptures say, be not swift to anger, be slow to speak, be slow to wrath. You know, all those things, those are spiritual traits. Those are spiritual, positive, heavenly, royal traits, man. You know, something that, you know, we have to exercise on a daily. This is Zechariah chapter 12 and verse 8. It says, in that day shall Yahweh defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble and Salakia, man, shit off, man. Verse 8, it says, in that day shall Yahweh defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as the Most High, as the angel of Yahweh before them. Yeah, so, man, we're the house of David. The Lord said he was gonna build up the tabernacles of David, man. So we gotta that same humble but faithful and mighty spirit. You know, David could go from taking off a heathen's head to one of his subjects cursing him out and sparing his life, man. You know, all through the spirit, all through the spirit of wisdom. You know, all through the spirit of faith, man. All through the spirit of humility. You know. How much more do we have to exercise these things, man? We got to exercise these things on a daily basis, because we're also rulers. We're also judges. We're also kings. So those same spirits, those were righteous spirits that King David was in, man. So we gotta exercise those same spirits, man. You know. So Lord willing that the lesson was edifying. All praises to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to our brothers and a few sisters seeking and pushing Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai in truth and in sincerity. Shalom.